characters are perfectly in sync. Nearly time to go. Should have got the train set up, shouldn't I, really? And away we go. Did I release the handbrake? Shouldn't need to on this service now. Hey Ferramero, how are you doing? Sharp grade any minute now. Ferramero, Matt may only be able to donate in bits from college, but be here watching a chance ball. Thank you very much, Ferramero. If you do donate in bits, don't forget to put hashtag charity in your message, and Twitch throws a bit extra towards charity they're supporting as well. It doesn't cost you or me anything. So just all you need to do is put the word hashtag charity in the message. Powering up this one at 59 grade. At least on this tough climb out of Manchester, Victoria, you've got the ability to do a decent speed. It's not like coming out of King's Cross where you can't actually bring up any speed. Got 20 mile an hour as we turn around 4 miles Platinum Junction. No, this is a 3-view Ferramero, and I've just moved it through as if I was hanging out of a coach. just use number 3 and you can put it anywhere you like. Because it attaches itself to the nearest vehicle, you can window hang out of this window and you can you'll then see the train curving in front of you. No official track IR, I've got my own way of doing it which works. I'll set that up in a minute. PSVR the only thing close to track IR on PS4. I mean, it's VR, which has head tracking in it. I mean, in theory, the same way that I use View Tracker to use a camera to do head tracking, I guess there's no reason why you couldn't be able to do it on the iCam, but I don't know if anyone's actually done it. I heard something about what was going on at Chester Zoo, yeah. Fire due to faulty ride. Moricom, the team are definitely learning new things all the time, and the whole thing of the game is just, the engine is expanding all the time as well, so... Like once they've solved the problem, they don't have to solve that problem again. Mr. A320 Master, I missed a donation from you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for that donation, 50 quid. Very, very much appreciated. That puts us to 1760. Yeah, there's been a lot of attention on sound on this one, the RCW. It's good. It's really good actually to hear people commenting on it. It just justifies the amount of extra time that's been spent. Johnny 156, can't seem to figure out how to put the train lights. Do you mean the passenger car lights? Does this route use hand-laid track joints? So every track joint is manual, but they effectively can be automatically placed when you lay track. If the track says there's a joint every 20 metres, it will add one of those automatically. But you can then go back and delete individual ones and put different ones. particular area, you think, well, actually, there wouldn't have been a joint here, I'll put one over there, and so maybe there's an odd bit where you know that in reality a piece of track has been laid using continuous welded. You can make it to where that bit is continuous welded. Or if you know that a particular bit is still an old way of doing it, but most of it is continuous, you lay the routing continuous and then go back and add some more joints in. It gives you a huge amount of flexibility. Passenger lights are on the right hand side. They're like a silver a switch on the dash, and you flick it left or right. How was the audio recorded? Microphones all over the place, so one on the bogie, one by the exhaust, one on the side, one inside, one outside, one in the cab. You record lots of audio from this. 5 or 6 microphones they use. Record it all into a massive storage device, and then it's just time spent cutting and editing and switching all around. 2.7 Stalovich. Camera anyway, you like it, they're all recorded at the GCR for this room, BMJ. I couldn't tell you which one exactly. The 33 will record on the GCR as well. Do I have a collection of snacks? I do. I bought some of these Cadbury brunch bar things. And I got something else, I can't remember what it is. Fan's turning on the roof, yeah, but only when it's under load, I think. Oh no, they are still spinning slowly. Presumably from when I was using them, had a load on a bit earlier on. Chris gifted a tier 1 sub to Jill. Thank you very much, Chris, for that. Yeah, you can stay outside the train in the tunnel. Tony H, thank you very much for that donation, much appreciated. Puts us on 1770. Almost at 1800. What station? This is Stalybridge. I know it's going to make me late, but it's all I think. Next station is Huddersfield. Chris, wow, thank you very much, Chris. Too kind, sir. You've put so much in today. That puts us up to 1800. Johnny156, wish you could get more, but a bit short pennies at him. Hey, thank you very much indeed, John. That's putting us up to 1810. That's awesome. Much appreciated. There's no donation too small. Seriously can't see a thing. Deraven, is there any main stations like Manchester Victoria, not small ones like my town? What's your town? There should be everything between Manchester and Leeds on the North Trans-Pennine main line. As it was in 1980, so including Miles Platting and Park, for example. Look at that. Just beautiful. Yep, hold on a second, Moggy. There are some. The 101s tend to stop at most places. The express, like the 47 and the 45, generally don't. They'll generally stop at Manchester, Stalybridge, Huddersfield, and Leeds. But there are other ones that stop in slightly different places. That's pretty cool. Good, isn't it? Has a real emotional sort of feel to it. Walkden or Swinton? I don't recognise either of those names. For Amiro, we did a little bit of roadblocks earlier on because we didn't know it explodes, but mostly we are going to be doing just trying to escape. So many scenarios. I've got enough for about 4 charity streams in the list that I had to look at. So. Yeah, 56 would be cool. I just want all the trains. That's basically what I said. They said, what would you like in the game, Matt? I said, all the trains, please. I don't think I was asking too much, personally. Double-headed services actually in the service of scenarios. Once the editor comes out, then we have to stop doing double-headed services. How's that? Is that better? Move this closer to me as well. Deraven, yes, Manchester Victoria is where I started. That's Manchester Victoria. That's Redcar Sidings and the avoiding line over to Newton Heath depot. That's Miles Platting Park, Stalybridge. Goes up to Stanage Tunnel. You've got Huddersfield, you've got Dewsbury, you've got Ravensthorpe, Morley, I think it is, up to Leeds. This is a full line run zone. How long is the line? I think it's 43 miles. Right, this is the end of the loop, which means we're going into the long tunnel now. Oops, forgot about slowing down. Try the speed breaker again. Button is 3 cam 8. It's the 8 camera. It's completely unlocked. 3 camera is like 8, but it's locked to the train. Sort of follow along. Oh, we had another donation. We had a little £5 donation there. I think that might have... was that you, Mr. Moggy? It's not attributed. Oh, it's a boggy. It's not released on PS4 yet. No, hopefully soon. How much faster is it to make a route now compared to CSX Heavy Hole? Quite a lot. About 2.5 years to make CSX Heavy. But then again, we were making the game as well, so it was from the artist formerly known as Moggy. Oh, okay. In that case, artist formerly known as Moggy, thank you very much for the donation. Got to drop down to 40, but that's not going to stop me pushing my luck. Your PayPal denied. Oh, that's not good. That's not good, Raven. But thank you for trying. I think I might have messed with my engine, Ed. Draven, it's not on Xbox One yet. 7.3 to Huddersfield. Burst out of the tunnel into the light. And yep, that's the cover shot. This was the first bit of the route built. No, the only map that isn't available is Sandpatch Grade, Deraven. All the other ones, Locos DLCs, are all available, and the service mode isn't quite the same in some cases, but for the most part it's very similar. The routes are identical, the Loco are identical, the features are identical. The only thing that might get sometimes compromised is the service mode or the scenarios, you know, AI traffic and things like that. Sorry, I missed your other questions. 1973. Could the West Somerset 08 be added to this route? Well, West Somerset has an 09, but once there's scenario tools are out, you can add any train anywhere you like. Daffy's, more German TSW DLC, please. Thank you very much, Daffy's, for that donation. 1840. Got £160 left to get to 2,000. £160 left to get to 2,000. That's incredible, folks. That's great. It is both incredible and great at the same time. Hopefully, I can't talk about future stuff though, BMJ, you know that. $2K is not the Marmite bacon sandwich. No, 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 no. It's Incredigrate. There you go. You want the Exeter Paynton routes entrance? See, I don't want to do that route. I mean, it'll look great in TSW, but I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it personally in TSW until we can do justice to that Dawlish coastline and the waves. And we can't do that at the moment, I don't think. Look at that. Every shot in this route is just spectacular. Yes, Ferramero, you can donate in dollars with Just Giving. You can donate in any currency with Just Giving. Trying to get arty here. Can you donate ice lollies? No, ice lollies are banned on the stream because someone, I have no idea who, keeps stealing them. You just hear this mine, a little giggle, you have a laugh, and then running footsteps. And that's all, that's it. That's the closest we've got to working it out. So this is the westmost bit here. This is Manchester, Victoria. DSW, anything is possible in the future. Wolfman Swed, thank you very much for that donation. That puts us up to 1867. Thank you very much indeed. Right, let's start slowing down. We should have already started slowing down. $15 limit coming up. BMJ, yeah, this route is still here. The trains between Manchester and Leeds don't go this way anymore, or at least they don't start Manchester Victoria. They start Manchester Piccadilly. So essentially, if you start at Stalybridge and run up this way to Leeds, that's current. Yeah, this is Stalybridge here. The other Piccadilly sort of comes up around this way, I think. My pronunciation hurts. Oh, you haven't heard anything yet, Ed. If you want me to make it hurt, I can make it hurt. Welcome to Huddersfield, and no, the cat is not here. Doesn't exist yet. Why go for BR instead of modern? BR has more interesting operational possibilities. It's a bit of variety rather than doing it modern. There were some potential licensing challenges. There's a number of reasons to look at doing it BR. As long as Uriel P911 says, BR is the best one. There's a duff over there. Strangely enough, we're running to time after all that overspeeding. How complicated would Steam be? I'm less worried about, see, like the simulgraph side of it is just a puzzle the guys will solve. It's not. It's as complicated as any other part of it. The particle effect side of it, I think, would be a challenge because you want to get it really good and have it not suck the life out of anyone's machine, because particles can do that if you're not careful. But it's solvable. We've got some really good, you know, a couple of really good technical artists that can absolutely nail that. So, can you turn off the colour overlay? Yes, you can. Control 7 or Control something or other. I'll have a look when we get to the next stop. For me, I think the main challenge is how do you make it fully accessible and also deliver a top-notch experience for everybody that just wants, you know, that knows how to drive a train? Because you still want to deliver the TSW experience of driving a train where every lever works. But the steam engines are going to be monstrously complicated compared to what's out there at the moment, and already compared to TS1, steam engines are really hard for a lot of people and they don't use them. So if steam engines are going to be hard to make because there's a lot going on in them, and people don't want to play them because they're too hard to use, then they're not going to get the time spent to make them properly. So it's a case of you need to make a balance of having a mode where it can run full simulation, and also come up with a mode that works simple. And I don't want to make it too simple. I want to make it approachable, still feel like you're to do with the running of the train, but I make it more understandable process, which may be down to some sorts of assists and so forth. But then I also want to provide a way that lets you migrate to being a top-end driver with who knows how to drive the train. So it's how do I give you the go stop button effectively, and then also show you how you can learn to progress into driving it yourself. Because steam engines, there's a lot of gameplay, there's a lot of really good fun in learning how to drive a steam engine. I don't ask for much. Nope, and that's why it takes time. Hey there, Train Track Trav. Tea. Deltics ran on this line in the 80s. Ooh, love a Deltic. No, Pacers, I think, started late 80s, early 90s, didn't they? Oh, cab riding a Deltic from Leeds to Holbeck. Nice. Steam Problems, thank you for the follow. You want to run by Train Track Travel? Yep. I'll hook you up. Hang on. There's no freight yet, but in reality there is, Chris. So there will be freight at some point on for DLC. What routes come with TSW? So the base package has got Rapid Transit, Northeast Corridor and Great Western Express. And then there's West Somerset, Rules Ignored, Long Island, Northern Trans-Pennine to add on to it. What did I work on this route? Nothing really. A little bit of trouble causing going on in the background, but I don't make any claim to fame on this route at all. Other than wanting it. No, all the hard work on this one, all the sort of the hard work, but all of the crunch on this one happened at, when I was on holiday. So. Well, I was quite heavily involved in Long Island, and Long Island and this one were developed side by side. Are you saying I cause problems that make everything take longer, Faramara? Moricon. you might be right. Does the route have seasons? Yeah, they all do. BRCW. So in autumn you get sort of different coloured golden trees. Ouch. Shut up, Ed. Shut up. So the physics different in the snow. The weather doesn't have as much impact as it needs to. There's still some work to be done there. The adhesion model is sort of starting to be there, but it's not enough there really. So you don't really sort of see the difference of it in winter or rain. It's not there isn't any adhesion model. It's just not in the. It's not where it needs to be. Engineers need to spend more time on that. Will there be a connection between Long Island and NEC? And will Metro North come to TSW? That's all future stuff. I can't talk about that, I'm afraid. The leaves on the track thing is really interesting, Mickey, because a scenario author has the option, or not. I don't know actually if a scenario author can do it, but certainly the route author can mark a specific area of track and then adjust that bit of track to adhesion level. So if you've got low adhesion areas coming out of a station, for example, where in reality you'd have a sign on it saying that it's a low adhesion area, you can simulate that so that when the train is trying to pull out of the station, they know they have to be careful just until the low adhesion area finishes, which is quite good. Bearing in mind the caveats about the adhesion model that I mentioned earlier on. Set the adhesion level to 0 is quite hysterically funny. Yeah, it does, Ed. Not used to, anyway. Yeah, you see the colour bars on the front there? There you go, 7. Well, because of low adhesion levels, if you've got loads of trees hanging over, then they can't clean it enough, so it's always low adhesion. When you haven't set the low adhesion level to 0, the train just sits there with the wheels just spin, it won't go anywhere. BMJ, did you not see the dev stream on Dovetail's channel on Thursday? If not, watch that. That will answer your questions. We'll probably look at doing a 110 at some point, BRCW, but then it's, of course, it's only regionally very specific. I think 110s are also Calder Valley. Yeah. But even if it did run on here, they're still very regional specific, whereas a 101 can be used on a lot more wider range of variety of routes. And certainly in the early days, we certainly want to try and get trains that people can use on a wider range of routes. It's not just the clothing, Wicked Gamer. They did different work on the faces as well, and the hairstyles. You'll notice moustaches have made an appearance. We have moustaches now. Perms. No, you can't customise your own driver yet. That's something, again, I'd like to be able to do. In the first gen DMU, you had to manually shift gears. Yep. And you do on the 101 in this route. I'm going to run the 101 tomorrow. E156, have you found your door for your control for the passenger lights yet? Next station is Leeds. 7.6 miles. Didn't your onesie have ears last time? It still does. They're just on the hood. Good pay, thank you for the follow. Next charity stream will be something like April, P-Bask. Oh, did the stream bounce and come back up again? It reckons it's only been on live for 3 hours. No, 11 hours, 47 minutes. Well, I'm just thinking, if you want, John, after I finish this, I'll jump into the 101 real quick and I'll show you. Dead easy. Yeah, we're almost at £2,000 now, folks. We're at 1867. So we could get to 900 with, what, 33 quid? 1900, sorry, 1900. Morley Tunnel, I guess. Yep, Morley Tunnel. It says 11 hours 47 up on the top of the stream, so I don't know what Moobot's going on about. I can put cab light on, but headlights do nothing of any value, Daffies. They're worse than a small candle switched on the front. No, I think Moobot's just having a freaky moment because Twitch says it's 11 hours 48 minutes as well. Driver might as well get some shut eye. Certainly nice, peace and quiet. Other than, you know, the wind and the freezing wind howling through the cab. £50-mile-an-hour limit. I've no idea why there was no game sound when the guys were previewing this route. None at all. I wasn't there, I was at home. Your PayPal doesn't want to go through check out with donations soap down right now. I have no idea, Ivanis. Anybody else having any problems using the Just Giving or PayPal? I have made a few tweaks to my engine.ini. I'll open them up in a minute. Oh, BRCW, did I miss a donation from you? Or did it come in under a different name? Oh, excuse me, he says, great work you're doing here, Matt. And that's £13. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, excuse me, 90. Much appreciated. JP, I don't know what causes. I think I do know what causes the nose to light up. It's really difficult to explain. Where Ayrton resub 23 months. Hey, awesome to see nearly 2,000 has been raised so far. Keep it up. Thank you very much indeed, Ayrton. And thank you very much for your support on the resub. Yeah, it's really difficult to explain what's going on with the lights. It's because in a cooked area you don't have dynamic light. Okay, it's all completely faked in a cooked area like a tunnel. There is no dynamic light in there. And so essentially when you cook the route, so it's like ray tracing essentially. It puts the lights everywhere, looks at what all the textures look like with the lights on, and then effectively bakes in the light to the texture, and then switches off all the lights. The end result is it looks like the lights are there, but they're not. The problem then is that if you have a train going through it, there's no lights. So how does the train get dark? So what it does is it keeps a grid of of points inside the air of the tunnel, if you like, and records what the light is like at each of those bits. And then when the train goes through it, it says, right, what's the nearest bit to this, the nearest recorded cell to this train, and then applies the light from that to that bit of the train. So it works generally quite well. But what I think is happening is that because the grade, it's on a grade, effectively it's stepping because it's a grid. And if as you sneak through the bits of the grid, you get more and less light as it goes up. I think. I don't know. I might be talking complete nonsense. Suffice to say, the engineering team are aware of it. Tried using PayPal and Just Giving. It does not seem to be working, so you had to use card details. Oh, excuse me. Ah, so PayPal's not working. Okay, thank you for confirming that. Oh, excuse me. Thank you, 822 Steam. That's appreciated. I'll pass that on to them. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Well, in that case, I probably don't know what I'm talking about. Unless the gaps between the cells are too wide, perhaps. But that doesn't sound right. P-Bash, that's not a problem, mate. It really is not a problem. You have no reason to apologise at all. Being here is plenty of support. Lots of people to talk to makes it that much easier and that much more fun for everybody, including me. Chris! Thank you very much, Chris. Now we've just £100 left to go. But £100 to get to the 2,000. DJ SB, how am I feeling? Pretty good, actually. What are we at? 10 to 9. 3 and a bit hours to go. No problem. Folks, if you haven't left a Steam review for any of the routes that you've got on TSW, then please think about it. It's all good to it's all really good to get the reviews. Pete 888 UK, thank you for the follow, and don't forget to mention your favourite bits. So, for example, someone said there, Wicked Gamer said Firebell was excellent attention to detail. Put that in the review. You know, tell Dovetail what it is that you found, what stood out for you as being particularly, this made the difference for me. You know, that's really good feedback for everybody. Yeah, that would be really useful if you could go ahead and do that if you haven't already. I'm not going to tell you to leave a positive review. That's entirely up to you. Well, I didn't do anything. Bit of a tick in my neck. More like 15 or 16 hour streams, Train Track Trav, but yes. So I finish around probably about 1 AM, probably when I finish today, and then we'll start again at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you for the cheers there, Ferramiro. Oh, this is without doubt my favourite TSW route, John. Without a doubt. Guys absolutely nailed it, or the team nailed it, I should say. Yep, that's oil on the track, DJSB. I think there's even toilet paper in there. Yeah, look, see, there's bits of toilet paper and all sorts of nastiness on that track. Ian Morris, Moricom, thank you very much for that donation, and Revarnus as well, thank you very much for that donation. That puts us up to 1920. Ever closer to the magical 2000. Oh, but it's accessible on all the trains that you're not on, Steam Link, you see. Yeah, Ferromero, in these trains, when they flush the toilet, all it did was just dump it onto the track. It's gross. Jay Hickman, always willing to help for a good cause. Thank you very much indeed, Jay. That pushes us up to 1940. 60 quid left to go for the 2000 mark. Which is just an arbitrarily picked number because it's still got lots of zeros in it. But still. Yeah, 1/5 of the way to Marmite. This is where I find one of you guys actually does know Mr. Beast. And then my my sense of horror might go up. JP, just a little one testing PayPal donation. Thank you very much, JP. I take it that means they're now working again. Yeah, well, I gather Mr. Beast is renowned for dropping in on streams and putting in big donations. What settings do I use? Let's just show you. So I am using FXAA, but I'm using 148%, which is near enough 150% on screen percentage. It makes a huge difference to the look, and you don't get some of the problems with TAA. Like it's not shimmering everywhere. No, you can't have a cab ride, madam. I've got a passenger. Cab ride. Second person. Yeah, Danny, that's the one, yeah. Woo! All greens. DeRaven Simulation, thank you very much indeed. Had to donate bits. Great stream. Thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated, DeRaven. Your games flicker like you say TXAA fixes it. No, TAA causes some of that stuff. Because this is pretty solid. If I switch it over to TAA, you see it's how it's flickering a bit now. The graphics don't look quite as good in FXAA.